I just used to, stay at home and pray that I didn't get a text from McHugh saying, don't come into work tomorrow.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
The plane stunt is going to go down as one of the greatest ever captured on film. Did you want to watch?
Well, I mean, the way that it was shot and where it was shot meant, obviously, it's not like we could stand like spectators like we did when he jumped off the cliff in Norway. Both of the biggest set pieces in this movie were, in places nobody could go other than Tom. One was deep underwater, the other was in the sky. So we knew it was going on, but we had the luxury this time of not having to watch him do it, because watching him do these stunts is always nail-biting.
So we didn't know too much about it because McHugh wanted to be a surprise. We knew that it had something to do with planes and some action and stuff, so we didn't see it. And also, it's not like his other stunts where you can the ramp jump. We were there on the ramp with him when he did the jump. This one, he's flying away, so you're just sitting there waiting to see okay, will this be the moment, or will he make it back to base camp?
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to watch, but it was not really possible for that specific stunt.
Yeah,
they didn't do that anywhere near where I was, so I couldn't pop over. But I knew about it, and I thought it was insane. And I, like you, would just wait to see it. Wait to see how it went.
We were so sort of immersed in the whole understanding of the production design and the intent behind these sequences and how that would fit within the story, and that we will care about these action sequences because they were rooted in the team working together. So although we weren't there for the filming of that, we felt very much a part of it and the meaning behind it. And we get reports back that day of what he'd done. I remember, though, specifically that McHugh had told us that at one point, he was shooting from the helicopter and Tom was in the biplane, and Tom was having to be the focus puller and his own camera operator and piloting the plane and performing on the plane. And McHugh had to remind him to stop smiling. And he's like, you stop looking like you're having fun. And I think that sort of so brilliantly sums up that Tom's ability to make everything feel like such high stakes for his character, and yet actually he's having the best time. This is kind of what he was built to do.
I'm running my own camera today, and I'm having enough trouble just trying to figure it all out. I'm not on this wing of a plane either, so.
I just used to, stay at home and pray that I didn't get a text from McHugh saying, don't come into work tomorrow.
Actually, we're gonna need you for this one.
Never.
No.
Must have been a false alarm.
Is there a piece of trivia that you can add to the IMDb page for Final Reckoning? Something you witnessed, something that you think fans should know?
I could probably admit now, so it's been long enough, that I've stolen quite a few things from the film because I took my role as Grace the Thief probably a little bit too literally. So I have stolen salt and pepper shaker from the train, an ashtray, a watch, a necklace, some fossils, some random documentation I found in a drawer. I have a poison pill, I have a key, and last night over dinner, I stole a bottle of Tom's hot sauce.
Tom has his own is a special hot sauce?
Yes, the restaurant they had made this hot sauce for him because the spices that they had were not strong enough. So they'd made this concoction that sort of blew his head off, which was delicious, in a beautiful bottle with a pipette. And so I was like, I just pocketed that at the end of the meal. I was like, I kind of have taken it a little bit too literally.
Well, I love how deeply you've researched and gone into the role, because, that's what really matters, and it's all on screen. So,
Thank you.
Kudos to you. So is there a piece of trivia that you can add to this movie's page that you'd love fans to know?
We had to stop filming 3 times in Svalbard to allow polar bears to walk through our set. They are very dangerous. They own the place. We have no business being there. And it is only right that we afford them every liberty in their own environment. So we had a team surrounding the entire film crew at all times, watching out for polar bears. And whenever we saw one come trundling towards us, we'd all hide and allow the polar bear just to pass, because no one's arguing with that thing, not even Tom. But it was amazing, an amazing spectacle to see an animal like that in its habitat.
Did Tom take a moment to be like, I got this, I can talk to him?
Yeah, I was dragging him back by his parka. Get away.
That's insane. So the moment when Hayley is given a gun to ward off polar bears, that was sincere. There was a real danger.
Yeah, there were genuine presence there, you know. In Longyearbyen, the town we stayed in before we went up to the ice cap, everyone leaves their car doors open in case a polar bear walks into town, so you can just jump into the nearest car to hide.
Oh, I thought they were like leaving a ride for the polar bears in case, so they could get them out of town.
There's a lot of polar bear Uber drivers there.
Yes.
Had a great moment celebrating Tom during his birthday, during the filming of The Final Reckoning. He had gone off to his trailer to, hang out for a little bit. We were on a break, and the entire cast and crew was gathered together, and McHugh's prompting, we were going to sing Happy Birthday. And as he was coming in the door, walking the expanse of those maps on all those tables, so it was a very big set piece, I grabbed the mic, started singing Happy Birthday, started a little dance, and as he approached, he joined in. So had a great little dance off with Tom on his birthday. So I'll always remember that.
That's beautiful. And you saying Happy Birthday, did you channel a little Tina in those moments?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Got to do with it. I had this obsession of using a flask. I wanted to drink out of a flask because it's very like cowboy vibes, and I love horses, as you know. And I don't know, I saw this little flask with the props. I was like, I need to use it. So I told McHugh, I need to use this flask at some point. It was like, okay, cool. I was like, can I drink in this scene? He's like, yeah, sure. So I drank in this scene. And then we got to shoot a scene with Simon, that you know what I'm talking about. And the flask was used, and it was just perfect. So sometimes you have because in this movie, it's not like we work with like a strict script. It's always like things are always changing, and the characters are changing and evolving. So, it's like a whole collaboration. So this specific time, it's funny that I had this like weird idea, and actually we used it in a different scene, and it all made sense, and it helped the scene as well,
Fans saw your photo in the previous film, and they thought that it may have signified that your character died, but she didn't, right? She actually, she got a new job, right?
That's right. Little Easter egg there planted because of COVID, and I wasn't able to, come back and reprise at that moment. But I remember speaking with McHugh, and he was like, "No, you'll be back." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was thrilled at that. He said, "I think I got a good plan for how we're gonna do it." That was it.
Plan worked out too. I mean, did you like the new change to the position? Did you think that this is where Sloane belongs?
I think so. As it turns out, yeah, she's very good at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a strong suit for her.
And, Sloane's had quite a journey over these past few films. What would you want your character to be known for? Is there a specific scene or moment, something you're really proud of that you think, like, that's Erica Sloane?
I think just incredible resolve and grace under tremendous pressure. And I think we definitely get that. Along with that, a great deal of heart, for her family, for her colleagues. I think she cares a great deal. So there's the steel and the softness.
Trying to save your ass. It won't work.
What do you want Grace to be known for as a character? Is there a particular scene or moment or even stunt that you pulled off that you're like, that's Grace, that's her?
I think in particular the car chase sequences in Rome, where I had learnt to drift, and to be drifting in a car with Tom Cruise beside me, handcuffed to me, and then having to change over and then find him in the driver's seat. What I think the challenge of that, which audiences they won't know from watching it, is so much of that coverage was in a two-shot between us. So rather than cutting between my close-up and Tom's close-up, it was very much a two-shot, which mean that for the whole time that we were working together, we had to be very much in sync and attentive to each other in performance. And that brought up a natural cat and mouse, give and take, kind of comedic chemistry between us that I just loved and went, that's who Grace is. What is happening? Where are we going? I don't know.
I'd like Benji to be seen as something other than the comedic relief. I think that was a kind of, a definition that was thrown at Benji in the early days. And I think under McHugh's sort of expert writing, he became a lot more than that, and became a valuable member of the team and a character who has heart and emotion. And I'd like him to be remembered as a three-dimensional sort of presence in those movies. I couldn't pick a single moment, really, because there have been so many, but I think overall, it would be nice to be seen as, a serious character.
I need you to take a step back and pull yourself together, because I am under a lot of pressure right now.
I can't pick exactly what it is, but I will say my character, he has a lot of heart and empathy, and he's willing to make sacrifices for people, and I hope people can just resonate with, him believing something, like we saw in the last film. Towards the end, we saw him questioning and then standing on those beliefs. So I hope people can walk away with like, oh, okay, I like this young man's choices.
Yeah, definitely. Pom, was there one specific scene though that like you were proud that you were able to pull off? Like, you're so physical in this film, and you have so many great fight sequences. Is there one that really, either in this one or the last one, that really just made you feel proud?
There was an axe kick that I had been training for years with my sensei, Justin Noviello. He taught me how to do an axe kick, and I trained to do it. I was like, one day it's gonna be in the movie, And then I trained for it again with a stunt team with Wade Eastwood and Ruda, and we're even filming it with an iPhone, super low like that, so it looked like even more like an axe. And the day we shot it, we shot it with McHugh, and I was like, no, we need to put the camera lower. And he was like, what do you mean? Usually I don't say anything about directing and how to direct, McHugh is amazing at that. He doesn't need that, But this time I was like, trust me, I know this kick, it needs to be shot lower. He's like, oh, really? So we tried again, lower, and then he looked at it, he was like, you're right. I was like, I know. But usually McHugh is always right with the framing, but this time I was like, I've been training for this kick for years.
That's incredible. I love that he took the note too and made it a better shot. That's incredible.
It's always a collaborative process with Tom and McHugh anyway.